Celtic Park, affectionately known as Paradise, is more than just a football stadium. It is a living testament to the power of football to unite, inspire, and transcend generations. Situated in the heart of Glasgow's East End, this stadium is the proud home of Celtic Football Club and the largest football venue in Scotland, with a seating capacity exceeding 60,000. It stands as a beacon of the club's rich history and the relentless passion of its fans. For over a century, Celtic Park has served as a stage for historic matches, unforgettable moments, and a sanctuary where memories are etched into the very fabric of Scottish football. To understand the significance of Celtic Park, one must delve into the origins of Celtic FC and the deep connection between the club and its supporters. Founded in 1887 by Brother Walfrid, a Maris brother with a vision of creating a club to support Glasgow's impoverished Irish immigrant community, Celtic was born out of the spirit of charity and inclusion. Just a year after its foundation, Celtic played their first ever match against Rangers at their original ground, which quickly became too small to accommodate the club's burgeoning fan base. By 1892, Celtic Park emerged as the new home for the club, a place where fans could gather to celebrate their shared heritage and love for the game. The early days of Celtic Park were humble, yet filled with promise. The stadium was a simple structure with wooden stands and open terraces that allowed the crowd to feel part of the action. It was here that Celtic established themselves as a dominant force in Scottish football, winning their first league title in 1893. The atmosphere was electric, with the stands packed full of loyal fans who would cheer and chant with unmatched fervor. The stadium's early days were marked by raw energy, and even though it lacked modern amenities, it was revered as hallowed ground by those who walked through its gates. Celtic Park's legendary status solidified during the 1960s when Jock Stein, one of the greatest managers in football history, led Celtic to their crowning achievement, winning the 1967 European Cup. Known as the Lisbon Lions, this team of local players triumphed over the mighty Inter Milan with a 2-1 victory in Lisbon, making history as the first British club to win the prestigious European title. The celebrations that followed were nothing short of magnificent, and fans gathered at Celtic Park to witness the return of their heroes. This moment was a defining chapter in the history of the club and the stadium, further cementing Celtic Park's reputation as a place where dreams came true. The foundation of Celtic Park in 1892 marked the beginning of a new era for the club and its supporters. At the time, the stadium was a modest structure with wooden stands and an open, unassuming atmosphere. But it quickly became more than just a venue for matches. It became a hub of unity, a place where the Irish community in Glasgow could come together and share in their passion for the club. The stadium, though not as grand as it would later become, was a symbol of hope and pride for its fans, many of whom had emigrated from Ireland to seek a better life in Scotland. Celtic Park's early years were filled with remarkable growth and triumphs. Under the guidance of some of Scotland's most celebrated players and managers, the club quickly began to establish itself as a force to be reckoned with in Scottish football. The 1890s saw the team win its first league title in 1893, and the years that followed brought a flurry of domestic successes, including Scottish Cup victories. These triumphs fueled the passion of the supporters and elevated the stadium's reputation as one of Scotland's premier football venues. The stadium witnessed some of the most memorable moments in Scottish football during these years. The fervent support of the fans turned Celtic Park into a fortress, where teams were met with chants, songs, and a collective spirit that was unparalleled. The club's rich history was further defined by matches against their fierce rivals, Rangers, in the Old Firm Derby. The rivalry, one of the most intense in world football, added an extra layer of significance to the stadium, creating an electric atmosphere whenever the two teams clashed. As the 20th century approached, Celtic Park continued to grow and evolve, driven by the ambition of the club and its fans. The stadium's transformation mirrored the club's rise from a local side to a national and European powerhouse. Despite the challenges faced during this period, such as financial difficulties and changing management, Celtic Park remained a symbol of resilience and pride. It was a place where history was written in every match, and where the club's dedication to its supporters shone through in every victory and defeat. The early 20th century was a time of great change for Celtic Park. The club's ambitions grew, and with them, so did the need for a more modern and expanded venue. The stadium underwent significant renovations, which included the construction of concrete stands to replace the old wooden structures. These upgrades were necessary to accommodate the swelling crowds that came to watch the team play, particularly during the club's most successful periods. The evolution of the stadium reflected both the growth of Celtic FC and the ever-increasing passion of the fans who filled its stands. In the 1950s, Celtic Park became one of the first stadiums in Scotland to install floodlights, which allowed matches to be played under the night sky. This development not only revolutionized the matchday experience, but also opened the doors for European competitions and evening fixtures that added to the stadium's mystique. The introduction of floodlights coincided with the arrival of legendary players and the club's emergence as a European contender. The excitement surrounding European nights at Celtic Park grew as the team advanced through the early rounds of continental tournaments, attracting attention from all corners of Europe. The stadium's transformation continued through the 1960s, a period marked by triumphs and unprecedented achievements. The pinnacle of Celtic Park's evolution came in 1967 when Jock Stein's team made history by winning the European Cup in Lisbon. The team, made up entirely of players from the local area, became known as the Lisbon Lions and captured the hearts of millions. The victory was celebrated in a grand procession back to Celtic Park, where fans gathered to welcome their heroes home. It was a moment that defined not just the club, but also the stadium as a place of footballing legend. Celtic Park had become a symbol of success, and its place in football history was solidified. The 1990s were a turning point for Celtic Park as the club undertook a major redevelopment project under the leadership of Fergus McCann. The aim was to modernize the stadium, meet new safety standards, and provide fans with the best possible matchday experience. The renovation project transformed the stadium from a classic football ground into a state-of-the-art facility that could rival any in Europe. This project included the construction of the North Stand, which stands as one of the largest single-tier stands in Europe, adding over 26,000 seats to the stadium's capacity and creating a colossal wall of green and white when full. The redevelopment was not just about expanding capacity. It was about preserving the essence of Celtic Park while embracing modernity. The new design improved sight lines, enhanced facilities, and provided more comfort for the fans. The introduction of corporate boxes, hospitality suites, and new seating arrangements elevated the stadium to a world-class venue. Despite these changes, the club made sure to retain the elements that made Celtic Park unique. The communal spirit of the supporters, the noise and the chants, and the traditions that had defined the club for over a century. The Green Brigade, the passionate supporter group, continued to lead the charge with their vibrant displays and chants, ensuring the stadium's atmosphere remained as electrifying as ever. The impact of this transformation was immediately felt. Matches at Celtic Park became an experience where football met theater. The European nights were more intense, and the old firm derbies grew fiercer. Celtic Park was no longer just a stadium. It had become a fortress where memories were made and legends were born. The new chapter of Celtic Park's history highlighted the club's commitment to its fans and its place as one of the most iconic footballing venues in the world. Over the decades, Celtic Park has witnessed countless legendary matches that have shaped the club's history and the stadium's identity. One of the most unforgettable nights in the history of Celtic Park was in 2003 when Celtic played in the UEFA Cup final against Porto. Although they fell short with a 3-2 loss, the passion and resilience shown by the team and the fans left an indelible mark. The stadium reverberated with chants and songs that captured the heart and soul of the club, demonstrating the unwavering loyalty of the supporters. Another unforgettable chapter came in the early 2010s when Celtic Park hosted a series of dramatic Champions League matches. In 2012, Celtic defeated the mighty Barcelona in a match that became an instant classic. The atmosphere that night was electric, with the fans creating a wall of noise and energy that helped propel their team to victory. The roar of "You'll Never Walk Alone," echoing through the stands, is considered one of the most iconic moments in the stadium's history. Celtic Park proved once again that it was more than just a place to play. It was a cauldron of emotion, where every pass, goal, and tackle felt amplified by the unity and passion of the fans. Celtic Park's legacy goes beyond the goals and the matches. It is a testament to the spirit of the club and its fans. The stadium is a place where generations come together, sharing stories of triumphs and defeats, and where the club's motto, "Let the people sing," is not just words but a way of life. From the early days of wooden stands to its modern-day grandeur, Celtic Park has evolved to reflect the ambitions of a club that never forgets its roots. The stadium is not only a home for the team, but a sanctuary for the thousands who step through its gates, a place where bonds are forged and history is celebrated. The story of Celtic Park is a story of resilience, unity, and pride. Whether it's the roar of the crowd during an Old Firm derby or the solemn silence during a minute's remembrance, every moment at Celtic Park adds to the stadium's rich and storied history. Today, as the stadium continues to host matches that draw global attention, it stands as a symbol of Celtic's indomitable spirit and the passion of its supporters. Celtic Park is more than just a venue. It is a world-renowned icon, a football cathedral that will continue to inspire and unite fans for generations to come.